The ACT is different than the SAT in this way. There's no formulas sheet. So basically, that means you need to know a bunch of formulas. Like, for instance, they could expect you to know how to find the area of that shape right there. Somebody pipe up and tell me, what's the name of that shape? It is not just a rectangle, because it's kind of got tilted sides there. Well, sides are still parallel, the top and the bottom, but the other two aren't. Anybody? Give you a hint, starts with a T.
A trapezoid.
All right, a couple people said it. Trapezoid. Thank you for participating. So that's trapezoid. And if you know the formula, this is like seriously a 3-second problem to find the area. If you don't know the formula, it's going to be painful. You're going to have to try to make a couple triangles, see if you can figure out how to, like, oh, if I cut this down here, I could make it a triangle on the left end and then on the right end. And that's one of the things the ACT likes to do, is to give you something that you can do it the long way and it'll take you forever. Or if you know the shortcut, like a formula, then it's just a 2-second question. All right, by show of microphone, as in you turn your microphone on just for a second, how many of you think you have this formula down? You're like, yep, I got that one. All right, I am seeing about 7 microphones on, maybe 8. All right, so think about this for a second. Do you get this just one out of many formulas that are like going to be helpful on the ACT? So let's take a minute and go in the red folder. Everybody take a second. Find the red folder that we gave you in this class. And inside you will find a sheet that I spent 16 hours making. Seriously, like 2 full 8-hour days. I wasn't all at once. I did it over time, but it took me a long time to make and then format that nicely and get it laminated and stuff. That sheet has got a ton of really good formulas, and this one's on there. And the other thing I want you to grab from the red folder is the pack of 3x5 cards. Because if this is a formula that you don't know, no better time than the present. Just take a second and make a flashcard for it. Anytime you hit a formula that does not come back right away, you can give the research says that if it can't recall it within 3 seconds, then it wasn't really there. Okay, so it's worth making a flashcard for it to review it. Okay, so I know if you sat here and thought about it for a full minute, you might come up with a formula. But all right, so now you got a laminated sheet out, and you got your little 3x5 cards out. And if you don't know this one, it's called a trapezoid. And I am going to help you with that right now. So for the trapezoid, the area is you average the bases. And I wrote that, I think that's a lot easier than saying base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2. Because you guys know how to average, right? You add them together, divide by 2. All right, you average the bases, and then you times it by the height. All right, so averaging those two, I add them together, and that makes 22. And then I divide it by 2, and that makes 11. 11 times the height, which is 2, is 22. By show of microphone, how many of you had a 22 already? Just turn your mic on. Helps me see that you guys are with me. All right, and that's about a third of the class, and I suppose it's because a lot of you didn't know the formula. So that goes on one side of the card, and if I were you, on the other side of the card, I wouldn't just write trapezoid. I'd also draw a picture of it. We are very visual beings, and so if you just say trapezoid, you're not even going to know what the thing looks like if you weren't familiar with the name trapezoid. So draw yourself one of these, and then say area of the trapezoid on the one side, and on the other side, you write the formula.